Good morning, children, and welcome to this English language class. If you look at the picture carefully in front of you, you can see a little rabbit eating a carrot. And if I ask you to frame a sentence or two about that, I'm sure you will come up with sentences like these. Now, if I ask you which of these sentences seem correct, the rabbit eat the carrot or the rabbit ate the carrot, I'm sure you will agree that it is the second sentence which makes sense and sounds correct. Well, that is mainly because there's an agreement between the verb and the subject. The verb being ate and the subject being rabbit. So today we're going to study subject-verb agreement. And the word agreement means to get along with each other. But before that, we need to study what is a sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words containing a subject and a verb. A sentence makes complete sense. So here we could say that the verb that we are talking about is a finite verb. So a sentence is a group of words that contains a finite verb and a subject and makes complete sense by itself. It does not depend on any other word or group of words to do so. Now a sentence has two parts, the subject and the predicate. The subject is the naming part of a sentence. It tells us who or what the sentence is about. So for example, in the sentence, the rabbit ate the carrot, the subject would be the rabbit. The predicate, on the other hand, is the telling part of a sentence. It tells us about what has happened to the subject or what the subject is doing. So it is called the telling part. And in this example that was shown, the rabbit ate the carrot. The predicate is the part containing the verb. So it begins with ate the carrot. The predicate always contains the verb. We must remember that. And this particular verb is a finite verb that we will speak about a little later. So now we have some examples. Amy held a pencil. Johnny wore a hat. He looked happy. The star is blue. He is holding a star. Now the words Amy, Johnny, he, the star and the pronoun he are all the subjects. Whereas the predicate part is the other half of it containing the verb. So the verbs would be held, wore, looked, is looking. Okay. Now, while you were studying, you have learned all the different type of verbs. You had the verb as in the main verb. You had helping verbs. You had linking verbs. We're going to study two different type of verbs now, the finite and the non-finite verb. Now, a finite verb is the one which is always present in a sentence. A finite verb agrees with its subject in number. So if we say the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. If we say the subject is plural, the verb has to be plural. So this is what we call the agreement of the verb with its subject. Now, a finite verb, you must remember, always has a tense. Okay? Whereas the non-finite verb is one which is not linked to the subject directly. And in this case, we are going to be studying infinitives. Though the finite verb, there are three different types, we will mainly focus on the infinitives. The infinitives are of two types. One is the one which has to in front of it. It's a verb. The infinitive is a verb which has got to in front of it. So for example, she wanted to eat an orange. We have a finite verb which is wanted and an infinite verb which is to. Okay, here it is to eat. There are plain finite verbs also which don't have to in front of them. They are called bare infinitives. Okay, so we have this verb which is she helped me complete my project. So here we don't say she helped me to complete. If you had to complete, then it would have become a to infinitive. Whereas it is only the word complete. So it becomes a bare infinitive, which is also a top type of non-finite verb. Whereas a finite verb, which is actually directly related to the subject, is helped, the finite verb. Okay, so let's move on. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to make a second video which will contain notes that have to be written in your language notebook. So thank you children for listening to the explanation on agreement of verb with subject. We'll take on the notes.